Grace Randolph beyond the trailer?
Look at that view, Grace Randolph.
Ah, thank you. Only the best for you.
It looks like one of those Zoom fake backgrounds, but it's real.
Yeah, I always tell people I can't animate these cars.
Looks good.
So your character is a chef who specializes in breakfast.
Yes.
Yet in real life, some people skip breakfast.
I skip breakfast.
You're one of those people?
Yeah, I only have coffee. I'm trying to stay skinny, so I just have coffee.
What was it like being on a set of carbs?
I like brunch. I like brunch every now and then with some mimosas, but no, I don't eat breakfast.
They just surrounded you with carbs on this movie.
Oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe what was in those display cases, and we would all just stare at them. And I don't even know if they were edible because they were probably glazed over with shiny stuff to make them look even more movie perfect. But yes, it was tricky. A chocolate croissant, I think, is one of the greatest things in the world. But and they would have trays, in the kitchen scenes. You'd look over at the set dressing, and there'd be like a tray of 100 chocolate croissants. But I never touched them. I stayed away.
I'm impressed with your willpower.
Well, I had to stay skinny. I was standing next to Gab Union. I had to not have love handles.
You fit into some really skinny jeans.
I did. I got in shape because I knew I was going to be next to Gab Union, and I wanted to not have a dad body, even though any parent would say, if you have 10 kids, there is no way you're in shape. Or
maybe the opposite.
Right. I'm just saying there's no way you're going to the gym.
So, your character, I thought you had some really interesting storylines. You had two in particular that were really great. I love all the attention to the dad in the family. That was really nice.
Yeah.
So the first thing I really liked was discussing what it's like to be a white parent of a child of color.
Yeah.
We see a lot of discussions. What was it like having those scenes?
Well, I was so grateful. It was written by Kenya Barris, who's written about this topic a lot, and he's just a wonderful writer. And the actor playing Dom, whose nickname is Tree, he was so good. And that scene that we sort of had the confrontation, I thought it was important for that to be a part of the movie. I don't think you can make this movie and say, oh, but we're doing a sort of Disney glossy version of it. No, you have to get into that topic. And I was glad that it was written as well as it was. And I just played it as earnestly and as true as I could, because I can imagine this is a conversation lots of families are having all over the world, who might be raising a child that isn't their birth son or daughter, but they love that child just as much. And what do they need to know that child should know? And Dom's character the character of Dom is saying, you will never understand. And my character has the humility to say, you're right. I want you to teach me. Will you come help me be a part of this? So I love that stuff. And I love that it's in this movie. It's just a testament to Kenya's writing that he was able to get all of this social commentary into a family comedy,
Yes. Well, the other thing that I really liked exploring about your character was the struggle to balance, and not just for a father, but for any parent, the love of his career and the love of his family.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
Well, I think so many people can relate to that. And of course, when you're making Cheaper by the Dozen, it's exaggerated to 10 kids, but that's what movies do. They sort of, really shine a light on something and exaggerate it so you can see. So someone who's struggling with doing that with one kid can go, yeah, oh my God, I can't imagine 10. But it's something that I'm not a parent myself, but I know that every parent deals with, wanting to pursue their own dreams and their own goals with their career, or even just goals in life, and be a good parent. And I think that this movie really, really goes into that.
Well, I thought you did a wonderful job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So there's an old joke in Hollywood, never work with kids or pets. And you just blew that out of the water.
I would recommend that to others, actually. It is a challenge. It is an absolute challenge to work with 10 children, multiple pets, 4 sets of parents, and then they're all of their real parents, guardians, babysitters, and the whole. It was a traveling circus, but we somehow managed to make it look like organized chaos.
I didn't think about that, having all the parents of each child actor around.
Yeah, that's a good time.
That's
No,
intense.
we got very lucky.
Well, you're a parent yourself. What was your favorite message in this movie about for parents?
To be patient. As our lives get very busy and we expect our kids to somehow know how busy we are and how scattered we are and all the things, all the responsibilities, like they're supposed to just innately know and understand and fall into line and be this like silent robot. That's not life. That's not real. That's not realistic. And so oftentimes we offer grace and consideration to other adults, other busy moms, but sometimes we forget to give it to our children who are along on this crazy ride with us. So, apologizing, in a real way, that's something that we wanted to promote.
To a child.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, imagine our generation of parents, like our parents apologizing. No, heck no. But also being patient and meeting each child where they're at and not doing one size fits all parenting for everybody. All kids need different things. So just trying to pump the brakes a little, show a little bit more patience, show a little bit more grace, and listen to your kids.
Well, also you were in the news for having some issues about the reality show that you were on, and not feeling a part of the group. And I really think that it's important and wonderful that you address that here. Was that important to you to include in this movie? What do you think about talking to children about that kind of a situation?
Yeah, I mean, I have found myself in that situation in my entire career. So I wanted to make sure, and as a producer and as an executive producer, not just, number one on the call sheet, I was able to actually influence and impact the experience of everyone's from start to finish, to make sure that we have created the most inclusive, loving, nurturing, efficient bubble that we can. And not everybody does that, where everyone is welcome. No one feels othered. No one feels marginalized. Everyone feels like they have an equal voice in this production. And we value diversity and inclusion. And it's not just on screen. We've actually empowered people of color behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Wonderful.
Like, a couple years ago, people had there was that hashtag, show us your room. Right? To basically shame folks who are like, I love diversity and inclusion. Well, I don't see it in your writer's room. I don't see it on your board. I don't see it in your company. All I saw was a black square, after George Floyd died, but nothing changed. And like, I want to show people that real diversity and inclusion, when you have actually empowered people to make the change that you are providing lip service to, this can happen. And I'm doing it. Watch and learn.
That's wonderful. You said you created a bubble. This was shot during COVID?
This is shot during COVID. So, children.
With all those children.
Yeah, children can only work so many hours, a day. And we have a lot of children and pets and COVID and, all of the COVID protocols. So it was a lot of things to juggle, but we never lost a day. We finished our days early. We got everything that we needed, and everyone felt welcomed and embraced and nurtured. And that's rare. This doesn't happen that often. So hopefully we're now the template and that others can follow.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations on your work in front of and behind the camera.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So this is the third Cheaper by the Dozen movie, not counting the sequels. How do you keep it fresh?
Well, we had a big gift in the Kenya Barris and Jenny Genzik-Henry know how to keep everything fresh. And they just said, let's reimagine this movie for 2022. And they just said, let's lean into the fact that American families have changed. Internationally, families have changed. There are blended families. There's more adoption. There's more step parents taking an active role. There are more kids whose parents can't take care of them and are, being taken care of by extended family. We just thought, let's really lean into how much the idea of American families have grown and changed, and make a movie for families now, for kids to be like, hey, that's me.
Well, I have to say, you did really touch on, it's a light comedy, but you do touch on some very serious issues.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking in terms of, the wide range of age groups that are going to be watching this movie when you were deciding what to discuss and how to discuss it?
Well, I think one thing that we've always talked about working together all these years on Blackish is that Kenya and I were saying, not every single moment has to be for everybody. So if there's a 5-year-old who's just howling during the drag race, but not really understanding the scene between Paul and Dom at the end of the movie, that's fine for now. But if that kid revisits that movie when they're 9, maybe they have more curiosity about that scene. And that's a chance for the parents to really talk about a difficult truth in America right now, but through humor, through relatability. I think that there's a famous quote by Victor Borge that the shortest distance between two people is a laugh. And I just think
quote.
It's a great quote. I love it so much. And I feel like if you're sitting together and you're laughing, it's a natural open door to talk about things that might seem like taboo or that makes me uncomfortable. Let's not talk about it. But that makes me uncomfortable. I want to understand it.
Well, also, it's a huge cast. And I thought it was funny to see how Paul and Zoey, the parents, had all these cute, fun tricks to how to deal with such a big family. As a director, did you have any tricks to work with such a big cast?
Yes, I was very lucky. I said, I need rehearsal time to help make this family feel like a family. And nowadays it's very rare to get rehearsal time. It's expensive. But my line producer was wonderful. He was completely creatively attuned. And he said, tell me what you need and I'll get it. And it was days where we did juggling exercises where no one individual could juggle, but standing in a big circle, teaching them to throw beanbags in a certain timing and certain order, we could juggle as a group of 12 people. We did in the Code Red scene where everyone's running through and getting their lunch boxes. We did like a packing a lunch relay race. We did sandwich making relay races just to get the idea of everyone being a well-oiled machine, a chaotic machine, just to really help everyone gel as a family and feel comfortable with each other.
Oh, that's awesome. And then finally, I have to ask, what's your favorite breakfast?
My favorite breakfast, I'm going to say it's challah French toast.
Ah, nice choice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Bye.